And we got some folks who want to talk to you. 800-450-7876. Line 4, Randy's calling us from Indiana. Randy, you're on with Dr. Umar.
Hey, hello there. Pleasure to talk to you, Dr. Umar. I'm asking this question, and it may sound a little bit like something like I'm trying to be a little bit flippant, but I'm not, because I'm talking about what will logically occur if the transformations that you speak of took place. So my question is this. I'm trying to figure out if the transformations that you speak of occurred in the black community, as far as the quality and the existence of all black people's lives, you do realize that the racial blending would take place at a much faster rate than it is now. And I'm wondering, and I'll take my answer off the air, when the racial blending starts, are you against black people allowing the blending to take place? Are you against? Would you want to stop black people from blending with white people, or would you accept the fact that people are now much more attracted to the black race due to the transformations you speak of? And would you just let the general, as Dr. Francis Cress-Welsing speak, the dwindling of the white genetics take its place and absorb white people however it happened? In other words, at what rate?
Randy, I got to cut you there because we got to go for a break. I'll let Dr. Umar respond on the other side. Folks, you too can join the discussion. Reach out to us, 800-450-7876. All your calls next on AM 1450 and FM 95.9. WOL, where information is power. But right now, before we left for the break, we're speaking with Randy in Indiana, and he wanted to know about the blending. He thinks what you are saying, Dr. Umar, that there will increase the more blending of the races. Your thoughts?
I agree with him, Carl, to an extent, because the self-hate that we have for one another, and we already know that educated black men marry outside of their race more than all other men in America as a percentage marries outside of theirs. There is some truth to what he's saying. However, that is exactly why we are going to have to Africanize the entire community. Because if all you do is economically empower black folks, but you do not psychologically empower black folks, then he's exactly right. You will have a mixing that will ultimately destroy the economic progress of that independent black community, because black men and black women will be in a rush to amalgamate across racial lines, thereby giving all of that hard-earned wealth over to white folks. And what I need people to understand, when I talk about my opposition to interracial marriage, it has nothing to do with the hatred for other people. It has everything to do with the love for black women. Marriage is economic as much as it is emotional. And because it is economic, and because women generally live longer than men, when a black man marries outside of his race, Carl, when he dies, and he's likely to die before his wife, all of his wealth, all of his assets, all of his liquid earnings will be given over to white folks, and those white women who these black men marry are just as racist as any other white person. And I haven't heard yet of any of these white widows of black billionaire husbands or millionaire husbands taking any of that inheritance and dropping it off in the black community so we can use it to our best interest. It is the greatest act of treachery, the greatest act of treason, the greatest act of betrayal for a black man to marry a woman outside of his race, because in essence, you are empowering white people against your own people.
800-450-7876. Let's keep moving then. Johnny's calling us from Long Beach in California. Johnny, you're on with Dr. Umar.
Hey, Carl. Thanks for taking my call. How you doing, Dr. Umar? Dr. Umar, the last time we talked, we were talking about the black and, about the black and white issue. And you said something about that you would have to, part of you in your program, you would have to be married to a black woman. So when I hear you talk about Obama, he did marry a black woman by him being half white and half black, using that analogy. But you didn't say that he would be accepted into your program. It's like, it sounds, I don't know. I'm just it sounds to me when you talk about people can't be in love with someone that's the opposite side of them, and they have to be low self-esteem. I'm sorry, I don't buy that analogy. I mean, but this is my personal opinion, because I feel as though when we talk about black people, black men marrying white women, are those black men really spending money in the black community anyway?
Dr.
Okay.
Umar? Thanks, Johnny.
Okay. If your choice of being with a white woman is purely motivated by love of her and not a love of wanting to be accepted by her race, can you please show me a rich white woman who is married to a poor black man? If this is all about love and it has no political or psychological aspects to it, if it has no post-traumatic slavery disease involved, why can I not find a rich white woman who fell in love with a poor black man?
Hold that thought right there, Doc. We got to take our last look at the traffic. And folks, this challenge he just threw out to you. I'm going to let you finish responding to Johnny. You threw out a challenge there from Johnny from Long Beach, California. A challenge to him. You want to repeat the challenge?
Exactly. If love is pure and love is blind, where are the rich white women married to poor black men? Love is not pure. Love is not blind. Who you are attracted to, Carl, is a function of your value. If you don't value white people, there's no way you will expose yourself to white women romantically. You cannot fall in love with someone who you don't have contact with. Dr. Umar Johnson works around white women. I went to school with white women. I see white women. I've had white women send me emails, send me gifts, all type of stuff. I don't value white culture, so I have no reason looking for a relationship with a white woman. One of the biggest symptoms of mental illness, Carl, is denial. And when it comes to denial about our racial inferiority, black people are in an intergenerational quagmire. We still don't want to admit that we feel racially inferior. We still don't want to admit that we see white folks as superior. There can be no economic equality until there is psychological equality. Until we establish psychological equality in our mind, we will never be equal to white folks.
800-450-7876, line 5. Jerome's calling us. He's in the district. Jerome, you're on with Dr. Umar. Is Jerome there on line 5? I'm not hearing Jerome. He's supposed to be there. All right, we'll keep moving. Let's go to Ramsey on line 6 then. Ramsey's also in D.C. Ramsey?
Hey, how you doing, Carl, Dr. Umar? I sat out in the car for 15 minutes listening to, until y'all took a break to come in here because I was loving everything he was talking about. Because I be saying the same thing about taking over the economics and the security of our own neighborhoods, controlling our stores and everything. But when I came in and I heard him talking about President Obama and that he has never done anything for black people, my first thought, what president have ever done anything for black people? President Obama couldn't do anything for anybody. You know, what he did, everything he did with them executive orders could be erased. So what I'm saying, nobody complained about Bush when he was in office to talk about him, but I just resent the fact that a black president, a black man would get on the air and just to put him down like that. When the reality is nothing no president has done for black people and never will. Why? Because we're not citizens of the United States. If we were citizens of the United States, we wouldn't be talking about no Voting Rights Act. The Dred Scott decision has never been rescinded. It has never been rescinded. That's why we'll never be accepted. We are hated in this country. And you're right about black people having inferiority complex. But why? You know, so I deal with reality. Whatever a person think and believe in their heart, that's their reality, whether it's right or wrong. What I'm saying to you, in all due respect, I think it's really wrong, or anybody else is wrong, saying that President Obama didn't do anything for black people.
All right, Ramsey, because you're repeating yourself. Let's give Dr. Umar a chance to respond to what you just said. I thank you for your call.
Indeed. And I agree with what my elder said. And allow me to clarify. He's absolutely right. No president has ever done anything of substance for black folks. But most presidents have at least tried to act like they were going to do something for black folks. They put out superficial programs that did not strike at the root of our problem, but dealt with some of the symptoms. President Obama didn't even give the posture as if he was interested in dealing with black issues. And what's most important that I need my elder to understand is not the fact that no president ever done anything for us. He's correct. But Obama is the first president who we never even asked to do something for us. The significance of Obama is not his neglect. Let me say this. The significance of Obama is not his neglect. I'm not upset at Obama. I'm upset at us because we allowed Obama to become the first president in United States history that ignored black people and got away with it. That is the point I need my elder to understand. And the other quick point, I am not loyal to personality. I am loyal to principles. You cannot say Obama did nothing for nobody else. He gave homosexuals 3 federal laws. He gave homosexuals a Supreme Court justice. He gave homosexuals 250 federally appointed jobs. He gave the Latinos federally appointed jobs a Supreme Court justice. He gave women the Equal Pay Act Supreme Court justice. He gave immigrants landmark federal legislation. He gave black people nothing. So, the issue is not Obama. The issue is us for allowing Obama to go unchallenged for his neglect.
All right, 800-450-7876. Rashid's calling us on line 4. Rashid from Washington, D.C. Rashid, you're on with Dr. Umar.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I had a question, but I wanted to make a comment because I totally disagree with the doctor in terms of Obama absolutely doing nothing. First, he kind of contradicted himself by saying that Obama was raised by white and thought white when he's married to a strong, powerful, intellectual, articulate black woman. Secondly, that Obama had, I know a number of people here in the Washington, D.C. area, due to the programs that he implemented, are in their homes today and not foreclosed on because he implemented programs to allow that to stop happening. He put caps on credit on interest rate so they wouldn't gouge you. You don't have to put your education program so people could go to school. You can't come in there like Farrakhan as the president with the fruit of Islam behind you and say, I'm doing all this for black people. They would impeach him. He has to be sneaky and do things undercover and within the system. And black folks, I don't really think that they understand the system. If you don't understand, that's what he was doing. And now if you want to see some stuff reversed and not have anything done for black folks, because I tell you, if I'm Donald Trump and I think like Donald Trump, I'm not doing jack for black people. Why should I? I wouldn't have to do anything for them because they're going to still spend money in my places, in white institutions and white places. I don't have to do anything for you. They treat you like dirt and still keep it moving. Now, my second question is, because I'm a nationalist, at this event in Baltimore, are they going to lay out a plan? Because I'm standing in the front line. Are they going to lay out a plan to help in terms of programs to help? Because reparations, the only way reparations would ever work, it can't be a check. It has to be some kind of, you get a free education or you don't pay taxes. But they can't put a check on slavery or a reparation to every African American. I mean, what's the price? What would the price be? What kind of check would they write? The only even distribution would be that, okay, you don't have to pay tax, and or you get a free education. Take your choice. I mean, that's the only way I think it would work. That's my comment.
All right. Thanks, Rashid. Dr. Umar?
Okay. Dealing with the reparations piece first, I would say that the brother needs to listen to some of the previous interviews that you have had on this show with me, because I've already laid out my position on reparations, and I do agree with him that money should not be on the list for reparations. Why? Because money runs out, but the benefit of slavery to America will never run out. America will never be without benefit from African enslavement. So whatever we get for reparations, likewise, should never run out, should not include money. Now let me deal with his first comment, which I totally disagree with. I don't give a damn how black Obama know thousands of black men married to so-called strong, articulate, educated black women who don't do a damn thing for black people. Neither has Michelle Obama done a damn thing for black people. So the fact his wife is black means nothing. I know 2 family black marriages where the husband and the wife is a stone cold sellout. So you don't become a hero just because your wife is black. That's number 1. Now let's deal with number 2. You said that Obama created programs for black folks. A program at the federal level is nothing more than money. Money that you throw at a problem. And those programs that you create will be undone by the next president because a program is nothing but money. Homosexuals didn't get programs. Homosexuals got laws. Immigrants didn't get programs. Immigrants got laws. White women didn't get programs. White women got laws. So you telling me I'm supposed to be content with the fact that he came up with a Brothers Keepers initiative which did absolutely nothing to bring industrial programs back into the high school, did absolutely nothing to bring black male teachers or principals into the high school, did absolutely nothing to cut down the suspension and expulsion of black boys, did absolutely nothing about the special education and ADHD referrals and diagnoses and medication of black boys, but because your president threw money at a black problem without transforming the nature and causes of that problem, I'm supposed to be content? That's absolute nonsense. And what I cannot stand is when black folks exaggerate the position of us who hold president accountable by trying to allege we wanted him to carry out a black agenda. I know more than most people that Barack Obama could not have carried out an agenda for blacks where he managed to eliminate every problem that we have. But what
hang on a second, Dr. Umar. We got to take a quick break here. I'll let you finish up. You're on a roll. I hate to break you, but got to take a quick break here. I'll let you finish your response. And a little tag here from a tweet says, tell Dr. Umar that 9 million black people have health insurance due to Obama. So I'm going to let you finish your response to Rashid's question, and also if you can respond to that about the health care.
Yes, indeed. Whenever those of us who want to hold President Barack Obama accountable, Carl, there's others who would try to exaggerate our position and claim that we wanted him to go into the White House with a red, black, and green flag. President George W. Bush never said he was for white folks. He just did what white folks needed him to do. John F. Kennedy never said he was for Irish Americans, but he went in and he looked out for Irish Americans. So no one needed Barack to say anything. We needed Barack to do something. There's 3 issues in America, Carl, that all Americans agree are problems for black folks. Whether you Democrat or Republican, whether you conservative or liberal, there's 3 items that the entire country agree upon are problematic for black folk, and something needs to be done about it, and Obama did nothing. The first one is education. Everyone agrees that the schools that serve African-American children are significantly under-resourced and underdeveloped. Number 2, unemployment. Half the black men in America have been unemployed since 1970. Everyone knows that unemployment for black men and women is an issue. Obama did nothing about it. And the third thing, mass incarceration. The laws that disproportionately and extensively lock up African Americans, everyone agrees that's the problem. Obama did nothing. He signed an executive order to let a couple of them out of jail early, but he did nothing to transform the structure of the criminal justice system. He didn't have to tackle all 3, Carl. He could have tackled one. If Obama would have did something about the schools, I would have said, okay, he did something. If Obama would have did something about black unemployment, I would have said, okay, he did something. If Obama would have done something about black mass incarceration, I could have said, okay, y'all, leave him alone. He did something. Obama did nothing. And I have a challenge. For those who claim that Obama did something for black people, please tell me what he did that was specifically for blacks. Not minorities, not poor people, not Americans. He did things specifically for gays, specifically for women, specifically for immigrants. So please show me what he did specifically for blacks. Name one thing he did specifically for blacks, including your programs. And as far as the sister goes, Carl, who said 10 million black folks have because of Obama. I would say to her that she needs to do her political research because nearly every state in America has some sort of low-income health insurance to cover the people in that state. Second of all, I would say to her that black people's biggest problem is not health insurance. Black people's biggest problem is police extermination, unemployment, miseducation, mass incarceration. That's our biggest problem, not health care. Did Obama do anything about the disproportionate quality of health care that black people get when they go see the doctor? Hell no. In other words, Carl, the same amount of black people who died from cancer before Obama will be dying from cancer after Obama. No issue that involves race. No issue that significantly and disproportionately affects black folks was dealt with by Barack Obama. If you can prove he did something just for us, please tell me what it was.
800-450-7876. Let's go to line one. Let's go to Charlotte. Kwame's calling us from Charlotte, North Carolina. Kwame, you're on with Dr. Umar.
Hello, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Oh, my brother.
Hi, Dr. Umar. Check this out. I was reading something on the internet. I don't know how true it is, but it said if a black man wanted to be president, to get in office, he could not talk about reparations. Do you know anything about that, sir?
I would say that in order to get in, he probably couldn't talk about the reparations. But what happened last month, 2 months ago, in October, a special panel of the United Nations had concluded that America owes black people reparations for slavery. This is only 2 months old. This is historic. The United Nations Research Panel has concluded that we are owed reparations, and not a single black mainstream organization, except the reparations organization, whom I love and support, not a single black organization moved out on that UN resolution. You know why we didn't move out on that UN resolution? Is because we are more loyal to Barack Obama than we are loyal to ourselves. And why are we so loyal to Barack Obama? Because Barack Obama has achieved the black man's dream. Barack Obama has achieved the black man's dream. And what is the black man's dream? The black man and the black woman's dream in America is to be accepted by white people. You don't love Obama because he's president. You have over 50 black presidents in Africa. You got over 30 black presidents in the Caribbean. You have black presidents all throughout Central and South America who are heads of state. Y'all don't love Obama because he's president. Y'all love Obama because he's president of white people. Obama represents the black man's desire to be accepted by white folk. And that is the only reason why you love him. That's the only reason why you defend him, because he did what you wish to do, to be condoned, validated, approved, and pat on the head by white folk.
All right. Kwame?
Sir, thank you for that, sir. I have another question, if you don't mind. You know, there's a lot of sisters that's making it hard for brothers to get with them. I talk to a lot of brothers, and they say, man, I'm tired of dealing with this hard. She's too hard. So they do step across the line and go to the other races. So do you really think that's weak if they're tired of fighting with a sister when we should come home and be loved?
First of all, 1/3 of the entire earth is African people. Black women are the largest population on the planet. There is no population larger than black women. I cannot accept that excuse, because if that particular woman is too, quote unquote, rough, find another one. And if you can't find her in D.C., find her in Baltimore. If you can't find her in Baltimore, find her in Detroit. If you can't find her in Detroit, find her in Texas. And if you can't find her in America, find her in Angola. Find her in Senegal. Find her in South Africa. Find her in Nigeria. Find her in Jamaica. Find her in Bermuda. Find her in the Barbados. There's too many African women around this planet who come with too many different personalities, too many different looks, too many different sets of goals, too many different spirits for a black man to say, I cannot find a black woman that is conducive to my needs. That is absolute nonsense. It is an excuse, and I will not accept it.
All right. Thanks, Kwame, calling us from Charlotte. 800-450-7876. Dr. Ed is reaching out to us from the district. He's on line 3. Dr. Ed, you're on with Dr. Umar.
Let me tell you something. I called into your show many times. I'm Dr. Ed Dowdy, and to your guest, Carl Nelson, in all due respect, let me talk before you say anything. Please don't talk over my words. And I'm an African-American scientist. Please.
Well, all due respect, Dr. Ed, we still got a bunch more folks who want to get on as well. So I don't want you to go on long. I want to get have in mind of the other people who want to speak to Dr. Umar as well.
I'm going to be quick. African American women in this country are highly educated. You know, the education gap is closed now. And African American women are doing great things. They're getting advanced degrees and have very good knowledge and so forth. And it's closed the gap. I taught in many different universities. I taught here at Howard University, Cheney University, and a lot of other universities around the world, and also in Deutschland, University of Heidelberg in Deutschland. I speak German and Spanish. And we're doing great here in this country. The thing here is we have a devastating president-elect that's going to be. You think if we don't get it together, first of all, Carl, you got to broadcast facts. Make sure your information is fact-checked. And Carl, you will have the power to do so.
All right, Dr. Ed, please address the guest. You can address me tomorrow on Friday, an open phone Friday, because it's disrespectful to have a guest and you want to continue a conversation with me.
I don't want to disrespect him.
You've got 3 hours with me tomorrow, so put your question on. I'm going to move on. Put your question to Dr. Umar.
Question to him. The thing here is, how can they encourage our people to vote? One of the things is, in this country, the most power we have in this country is to vote. And we're going to be dealing with this thing 8 years. If the vice president of Trump runs, we're going to be dealing with it 16 years. And that's a fact. This president is going to go down in history as the greatest president this country has ever had. And that's a fact, too. And the thing is, I'm covering this thing from fact-check knowledge. And I'm a scientist, right? An African-American scientist. Thank you, Red.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Ed. He says that Obama's going to go down as the greatest president ever. Dr. Umar?
We know that is an absolute untruth, Carl. In fact, one of the reasons that Donald Trump is president is because white America wanted to purge the White House of all melanin. One of the reasons Hillary Clinton lost the election is because she once served as President Obama's Secretary of State. They wanted to get rid of Obama. They wanted to get rid of anybody like Obama. They wanted to get rid of anybody who was with Obama because Obama was a black man. What I did love about white folks putting Donald Trump in office is it taught Barack Obama and all these bougie Negroes a lesson. They taught Barack Obama the same lesson they taught O.J. Simpson. They taught Barack Obama the same lesson they taught Oprah Winfrey. They taught Barack Obama the same lesson they taught Tiger Woods. Don't you ever think, no matter how high we place you, that you will ever be anything more than an N-word to us. When Barack Obama told America that I need you to elect Hillary Clinton, because if you elect Hillary Clinton, that will be the icing on my cake. That will be the exclamation point on my presidency.
Right. Hang on a second, Doc. We got to take another break. I hate to stop you when you're on a roll, but we got to take this break. Well, I'll let you folks join in on AM 1450 and FM 95.9 WOL, where information is power. Dr. Umar, I'm going to let you finish up what you were saying before we left it for the break.
One, and when you listen to a lot of your callers today, Carl, with all due respect to them, they place an enormous amount of attention on Donald Trump becoming president. Very few of them look at the role that we play in our own reality. We are not passive victims. We are active victims. The statistics that I put out earlier during the show, we have the ability to change it ourselves. I don't care about no Donald Trump. Barack Obama put you to sleep because you asked him to put you to sleep. Donald Trump is going to wake you up because you want him to wake you up. The president can only affect us to the extent that we do not have a reality for ourselves. Do you see Chinese going crazy because Barack Obama got elected with joy? Did they celebrate in the streets like Negroes did? Or do they have a doom and gloom because Trump has won? Do you see European Jews going crazy when Obama won, thinking God came back? Do you see them despondent and depressed because Trump won? The point is, Carl, every culture in America has a cultural agenda that they stick to no matter who the president is. And if you have that cultural agenda, irregardless of who the president is, if you have your vote organized as a people, and if you have your money organized as a people, then you will be able to play your hand of cards. You will be able to get your objectives achieved no matter if the president is black or white, Democratic or Republican. We have a very dysfunctional and unhealthy approach to electoral politics. What about that $4 billion in alcohol we spend every year? Well, how about we deal with that instead of Donald Trump? How about the $9 billion our sisters spend on perm and weed that we could use to put black men who they claim they can't find to work? How about we take that $2 billion that black men is spending on sneakers and take that money and create after-school jobs for black children all across America? Why don't we look at at our own political and economic retardation that we could change overnight? I could care less. In fact, Carl, if they want, they can go dig up Adolf Hitler and make him president of the United States, and it wouldn't mean nothing to me. Because our destiny is in our hands. It is not in the hands of the president of the United States.
All right, 800-450-7876. Michael's calling us from Columbus, Ohio. He's on line 6. Michael, can you make it quick for us?
Yes, thanks for taking my call, and all blessings to Brother Umar. My thing is to those callers that call in that are happy with their positions in white supremacy, that turn their back on their children and don't know why they're confused. We send them to be educated by these people. When that scientist calls in and says he's a scientist and all, who educated you? You're not the Imhotep. We're the first scientists, but you got educated by a white institution. Our kids are being confused because they have no culture. When you see on television your little baby children picking out a
Michael, put in a question for him to Brother Umar.
My question is this, but let me say this, is what do we do to save our children from every morning being indoctrinated into a lie? And I just want to say this, when you see your kids picking a little baby, picking a white baby's good and a black baby's bad, we're in trouble. Stop this. Care about your children and their future.
All right, Dr. Umar.
I would agree with my brother wholeheartedly. And I would say, Carl, if you listen to the temperament of a lot of the comments that were made today, they were all about how we can participate in the American reality. Whether it was elections, no matter what it was about black people participating in the American reality. Do you think Chinese have those conversations? Do you think Arabs want those conversations? Do you think East Indians desire those conversations? They don't talk about participating in the American reality. They talk about creating their own cultural reality in America. And that is the difference between us and everyone else. That's why they're doing well, and we are at the bottom.
All right, we got to run out of here. But Monday, where are you going to be in Baltimore?
Monday, Downtown Cultural Arts Center, BLB Square, Dr. Umar Johnson. In fact, our interview today, Carl, has energized me, and I'm super ready now because I got a lot I have to go over based on some of the comments I heard today to clarify my position on things. Please come on out, 401 North Howard Street,